Amazon Prime Day deals. I partook in some upgrades. They've been some upgrades that I've been meaning to make ever since I redid this room, and I'm actually very happy with it so far. So let's talk about it. The main thing that needed to change from when I originally did this room rebuild is I was rocking a BenQ monitor from about 2018, 2019 that had a color coverage that was not up to modern standards. I'm talking about like the P3, the DCIe P3 type of coverage, which gets into some real nerdy stuff if you go deep into it. But turns out if you want to have colors that are relatively accurate when looking at things like an iPhone or MacBook Pro display, essentially, you need to have things that are calibrated to P3 display coverage as close as possible. And that BenQ monitor was nowhere near that because obviously it's an older monitor. So technically, it was time to upgrade. And Prime Day came around and there was a deal with INNOCN. I've never used a monitor from INNOCN before. In fact, I don't even know if I'm saying the name correctly, but there was a 5K, 2K, 40-inch monitor that was on sale for $500. Now, 500 is still, you know, it's up there still, but like that panel, 5K, 2K, that's a pretty, also 40 inches, that's a nice panel, right? Oh, also 100 hertz as well. So it's not even like the 60 FPS standard type of thing. It's like, it's actually relatively high FPS. You know, 120 and up is more ideal. Like the MacBook Pro is technically 120 FPS. But at 100, you're definitely getting the visual trick that your eyes think that it's like a high refresh display. So I pulled the trigger on that guy, $500. Fingers crossed that I was getting a good panel and all that stuff. It came through, I set it up, and I'm actually extremely pleased with the results so far. Now, it does feel like a cheaper panel because it is plastic on the outside and all that. Also, the base plate isn't anything special. You know, it's just like a metal plate. It's not terribly heavy either. I thought it was going to be heavier, but for 40 inches and ultra wide, it's actually not too bad at all. So the question is, how easy is it to adjust? Oh, nice. Slides pretty easy. Yeah, it looks like that's the maximum height. So the base itself is technically swiveling. It's not the actual monitor, which the BenQ had a nice swivel to it, but BenQ is also more expensive back when I first bought it. So did the setup and found that you have to actually configure it for a MacBook. Okay, monitor setup. It is working. It's going through the Wavelength Thunderbolt 5 hub, and I have my 2 hard drives hooked up as well. Looks like footage loaded up, which is awesome. And it looks like it's playing back correctly and all that stuff. Now, what I do have to figure out is color profile stuff, because it definitely does not look similar to the MacBook Pro. So yeah, it's not immediately compatible with the MacBook right off the go. You do have to configure it. So when you do plug it in, you're going to be like, these colors look washed out. What's going on here? You have to go into the on-screen display, which isn't very nice. It's not polished or nice like the LG stuff, like my LG monitor behind me and my gaming setup. You have to deal with the quirks of an on-screen display that's not very user-friendly. But once you understand it, it's pretty easy to set it up. And I swapped it to the proper display profile for macOS to communicate with. And once I did that, it was perfect. No fiddling around whatsoever. In fact, so far, I haven't noticed any issues with the panel. So fingers crossed. I feel like I've got some, I feel like I got lucky, possibly. Or maybe the quality control is just much better than I think. And I'm seeing reviews and going, maybe I'm going to get the lemon in the pile or something, you know? Obviously, if they're going to stay in business, they have to sell the majority of their panels in a good quality condition. So more than likely, you're probably going to get a panel that works because, you know, they're not in the business of taking panels back and having to redo them and all that crap. So I got a good panel and I'm very happy with it. And my first impression with loading it up with like DaVinci Resolve is nice. This is exactly what I've been wanting for my setup and the experience. And yeah, it's nice. It's a vibe. I really, really like it. I also realized immediately that I needed a light bar. And luckily, Prime Day was still going on, so I was able to get another one of those BenQ Halo 2 screen bars. They're a bit on the expensive side. They're like $200 just for this light bar, but it's got features that are really nice, like the backlight and also the front light and also auto sensing and all that stuff. And like you can do like 1% light all the way up to 100%, so you can really adjust the brightness. And also the color temperature will go really warm and also to like 6,500 or something like that. So pretty much daylight type of experience. So I didn't factor in that cost immediately, but I soon realized that a light bar made a huge difference for the setup as well. So the 40-inch INNOCN monitor, very happy with so far. The BenQ light bar is the second time I've bought that, and no complaints. It looks really, really nice. It's tough not to have the nice light bar once you see it. I did do a couple other upgrades as well for this desk. One of them is a new Thunderbolt 5 hub. And now this was sent to me. Wavelength sent this out to me to do a test and review and see if I like it. And so far, excellent. I really enjoy it. I swapped out of a CalDigit Element 5, which was kind of a smaller, more compact type of Thunderbolt hub, which, you know, it was doing its job, but it didn't have as many features. The wavelength is obviously a bit more feature rich, and so far it's been really smooth, really compatible with everything. I actually dedicated one port to the wavelength off my laptop and one port to the monitor off the laptop, so I could spread the amount of data that gets pushed through right there. Because I think with the 5K, 2K, it's going somewhere around like the 12 gigabit per second type of data rate that's pushing for that type of image and color and all that stuff. So I definitely didn't want to split that up with hard drives that were plugged into the wavelength. So, because also it's Thunderbolt 4 is technically what the spec is running, because I have a MacBook Pro M3 Max, which is Thunderbolt 4, like I said. So I'm not getting the full Thunderbolt 5 bandwidth, unfortunately, but that would mean a much more significant upgrade, because I definitely don't want to upgrade my laptop right now. It's working fantastic, and I have no need to swap out of it. So I dedicated two ports out of the laptop, one to the monitor and one to the wavelength to do data transfers, and I hooked up my main hard drives for video footage to the wavelength. And again, so far, absolutely no issues. Been getting good data rates, and I've plugged in a bunch of stuff to it so far, and it's all been working. Oh, also, I'm charging or powering the BenQ Screen Bar Halo 2 light bar directly with the wavelength. So it's giving power not only to the MacBook, but also the screen bar. And I've had no issues. Let me double check my power here. Yeah, it's been sitting at 80% for the laptop. So that's good, right? I'll have a full review for the wavelength at some point, probably in a month or so. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. They have actually two models of it. One that's solid aluminum, and then the one that I got that's more perforated. And I got the perforation one because apparently it allows heat to come out easier. And I noticed with the Element 5 that it would get pretty freaking hot. Like just existing, it would be hot. So I've noticed with the wavelength, just existing, it's like warm-ish, but it wasn't getting hot like the CalDigits one. Also, the SD card in the front is very nice. So nice little convenience right there. Oh yeah, I also swapped out the Creative Pebble speakers that were on the desk. Now, those are not stunning audio quality by any means. I was using them mainly as if I need to hear something without headphones, I would be able to hear something. But more and more this past few months, I have not been editing as much with headphones. I've kind of been enjoying just having speakers. So I wanted to swap those out for something that's a bit better, or something that's going to be closer to useful for editing and all that. And I have a pair of III Unit 4 wireless speakers, and they're doing a pretty good job. When I say pretty good job, there's a few issues. So I do have them paired in the wireless mode, and I notice if I don't turn the speakers on right away, they won't pair right away. Or at least it doesn't seem like they want to pair, or they might act like they pair, and then it's like not working correctly. So it's a little unfortunate. I've considered actually setting up an audio interface and just going directly in. Not 100% sure if I want to do that just yet. So I'm still in wireless mode. So I notice if I plug in the transmitter, which is right in front of me, and then turn on the speakers, I have no problem with the pairing. But if the transmitter has been on for like an hour and then I turn on the speakers, it doesn't work. So I don't like that. I might try to figure out something else in the future. Also, I have to turn on the speakers every time. And in order to do that, I have to hold the top button for like 2 or 3 seconds and then it turns on. So just a little bit of friction right there. Not as like instant and immediate on as it could be by just like, you know, hitting the keyboard and then everything turns on. But aside from that, the audio quality that I get from these Unit 4s is fantastic. Very pleasing. Like the high end is very nice. It's not fatiguing at all. It's got decent bass, even though it's like just 4-inch speakers. So they're pretty much doing the job, you know, like I don't need to spend any more money on anything else. Like these will work. I just have to deal with the nuances of things, which is pretty typical with tech, you know, like everything has like little quirks and all that. But yeah, honestly, very happy with this desk rebuild. I was worried that the monitor was going to be too big, but it turns out I think it's just right. Any bigger would be an issue. I'd have to keep the laptop into clamshell mode, and I didn't want to do clamshell mode because A, I wanted the additional screen just in case for something off to the side, and B, I want the heat dispersion for the laptop being open. I believe when it's in clamshell mode, I don't think it disperses the heat as effectively. So I could be wrong on that, but I think it's what I heard. Oh, one thing that I was not able to make happen though with this whole setup, before I was able to comfortably take this camera that's right in front of me and put it off to the side. That's not possible now. This is technically blocking the monitor off to the left just a bit, and I'm not sure how much that's going to bug me in the long term. It might. I was trying to do an arm that was going to mount on the back of the desk. That did not work because I did not have enough clearance in the back of the desk to make that happen. So for now, it's on a switch pod, tripod that I just have to move in and out whenever I want to do a talking face cam like this. So that is kind of one pain point that might change in the future. I don't know. I think this is working overall pretty well. So, but yeah, that's the desk upgrade. That's what I got for Prime Day deals. The monitor I was able to pick up for $500, and then I think it immediately went back up to $800 after Prime Day was over. So, seems like a good deal. Hopefully it lasts. Hopefully it makes it past a year. Fingers crossed. The BenQ Lightbar was also on sale, so I was able to scoop that on Prime Day as well. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to do more vlog style content here in the future with this channel. And thanks for hanging. Thanks for chilling. I'll see you next time for another one. Peace.